Hello guys, you are most welcome in Easy Economics session. Today we are going to discuss canon of taxation, another topic of public finance branch. Okay, in this particular chapter we are going to study the canon of taxation illustrated by Adam Smith and other modern economists. Canon of taxation means principle or qualities of a good tax system. Okay, so let's move on. First, we'll see the meaning of canons of taxation. Canon of taxation means the characteristics or qualities of a good tax system. As I told you, canons of taxation means principle or good qualities of a tax system. Tax system is very important in any economy. So, the tax system should be systematic for the people as well as for the government. So, tax system should be based on some logical principle. So, these principles are given by a very famous economist, Adam Smith, known as father of economics. He gave these principles, he formulated these principles in 1776. Although more than 300 years ago, these principles were formulated for taxation system, but guys, these principles are still today relevant for all the countries in the world. Okay, so we'll move on further. What are those principles given by Adam Smith? There are 4 canons of taxation or principle of taxation. First is canon of equality or equity. Second, canon of certainty. Third, canon of economy. And fourth, canon of convenience. So, all these 4 canons or principles were formulated by Adam Smith. Apart from all these 4 principles, modern economists have added a few more canon of taxation. These are canon of productivity, canon of elasticity, canon of simplicity, and canon of diversity. Now, we will discuss the importance of taxes in any economy. Guys, we know the tax system is very important in any country because it serves so many purposes. Why government charges the different kinds of taxation? The first is to raise revenue for the government. Second, to redistribute income and wealth from the rich to the poor people. Third, to protect domestic industries from foreign competition. And fourth, to promote social welfare. So, here we can see the importance of tax in economy. That's why taxation system should be based on some principles that should be good for the economy. Now guys, we'll discuss all the canons of taxation one by one. First is canon of equality. Canon of equality states that the burden of taxation must be distributed equally among the taxpayers. We all know that tax creates burden and it creates sacrifices also. Okay, so the burden of taxation should be equal to all the taxpayers. It should be distributed equally to all the taxpayers. However, this sort of equality robs of justice because not all taxpayers have the same ability to pay taxes. It means if the tax amount that is charged by the people is equal for all, it will create different burden on different kinds of people. Rich people are capable of paying more taxes than poor people. Thus, justice demands that a person having greater ability to pay must pay large taxes. It means every person has different capacity to pay the taxation. So, tax should be charged differently according to the ability to pay of the taxpayers. Then only we can achieve the principle of equality. If everyone is asked to pay taxes according to his ability, then sacrifices of all taxpayers become equal. This is the essence of canon of equality. To establish equality in sacrifice, taxes are to be imposed in accordance with the principle of ability to pay. In view of this, canon of equality and canon of ability are the two sides of the same coin. It means, guys, the taxation should be based on the principle of ability to pay. It means higher income people should pay more tax and lower income people should pay less than, and some of the poor people should be exempted from the tax. Then only equality of taxation system can be established. Next principle, canon of certainty. The tax which an individual has to pay should be certain and not arbitrary. According to Adam Smith, the time of payment, the manner of payment, the quantity to be paid, tax liability should be clear and transparent to the contributor and to everyone. Thus, canon of certainty implies that tax must be certain to the taxpayers as well as to the tax levying authorities. There should be no ambiguity. So guys, here the tax structure is considered good when the tax is certain and it is transparent to all the taxpayers. Then it will be easier for taxpayers to pay it in time, and it is easier for the tax authorities also to collect the taxation. So there should be certainty in time of paying the tax, amount of pay the tax, and the mode of payment of the tax. All these should be fixed in advance so that it cannot create any kind of confusion among the taxpayers and the tax collecting authorities. Third principle given by Adam Smith, that is canon of economy. This canon implies that the cost of collecting a tax should be as minimum as possible. Any tax that involves high administrative cost and unusual delay in assessment and high collection of taxes should be avoided altogether. If cost of collection is minimum, then only collected revenue can be utilized maximum on welfare activities. This is also a very important principle for the tax structure. Canon of economy means the cost of collection of tax should be minimum. The cost of administrative department that manages the tax should be minimum so that maximum amount of collected tax can be utilized for the welfare activities. So there should be the principle of economy and tax structure should be economical. Then only it will be good for the economy and productive for the economy. Fourth principle, canon of convenience. Taxes should be levied and collected in such a manner that it provides the greatest convenience not only to the taxpayer but also to the government. Thus, it should be painless and trouble-free as far as practicable. Every tax, stresses Adam Smith, ought to be levied at time or the manner in which it is most likely to be convenient for the contributor to pay it. That is why after the harvest, agricultural income tax is collected. Salaried people are taxed at source at the time of receiving salaries. These are basic and classic canons of taxation. So the fourth canon of taxation given by Adam Smith, that is canon of convenience. The collection of the tax and the payment of the tax should be convenient for the taxpayer as well as for the government. It should be trouble-free, it should be painless. Then only tax structure can give maximum for the economy and it will not be troublesome for the people. That's why it is said that just after the harvesting period, in agricultural income tax should be collected so that it cannot create burden on the farmers. Income tax are collected at the source of income for the salaried class people so that it cannot create burden for the salaried class people. So guys, these four are the basic and classic canon of taxation given by Adam Smith. Now, apart from these four canon of taxation, other canon of taxation given by modern economists, the first one is canon of productivity. According to a well-known classical economist in field of public finance, Charles F. Bastable, taxes must be productive. This implies that the revenue yield from any tax must be sufficient to promote economic growth. Further, this canon states that only those taxes should be imposed that do not hamper productive effort of the community. A tax is said to be a productive one only when it acts as an incentive to production. Guys, here this is also very important principle. It shows the tax should promote the production and growth of the economy. It should not hamper the productivity in the economy. Actually, we know that tax creates burden, but in tax system should be created in such a way that it create less burden and it can give maximum production in the economy, and the amount that is collected from the tax should also be maximum so that the growth process of the economy can be smooth. Next is canon of elasticity. Modern economists attach greater importance to the canon of elasticity. This canon implies that a tax should be flexible or elastic in yield. Flexible and elastic in yield means what? It should be levied in such a way that the rate of taxes can be changed according to the change in situation. Taxation should be elastic. It means it should not be rigid. According to the change in the situation, the rate of tax and the structure of the tax can be changed. Whenever the government needs money, it must be able to extract as much income as possible without generating any harmful consequences through raising tax rates. So, if economy needs more income, more funds, tax rate can be increased, but it should not have any harmful effect on the economy. So, there should be proper elasticity in the tax structure. Next is canon of simplicity. Every tax must be simple and understandable to the people so that the taxpayer is able to calculate it without taking the help of tax consultants. A complex tax is bound to yield undesirable side effects. It may encourage taxpayers to evade taxes if the tax system is found to be complicated. It is very, very important point under the tax system that tax structure or tax system should be simple. There should be no complication in the tax structure so that people can understand it easily and they can pay the tax easily without taking any help of the tax consultants. A complex tax structure has many side effects in the economy. So, government should avoid the complex tax system. It should be simple and understandable for the taxpayers as well as for the tax collectors. A complicated tax system is expensive in the sense that even the most honest educated taxpayers will have to seek advice of the tax consultants. If the tax system is complicated, then taxpayers will have to consult the tax expert and it will become difficult for them and it will be painful for them. And sometimes due to this, people try to avoid the payment of the taxation. Ultimately, such tax system promote corruption in the economy. So, tax system should be very simple and understandable. Next principle, canon of diversity. Taxation must be dynamic. This means that a country's tax structure ought to be dynamic or diverse in nature rather than having a single or two taxes. Diversification in tax structure will involve majority of the sectors in the tax contribution. If a single tax system is introduced, only a particular sector will be asked to pay to the national exchequer leaving a large number of population untouched. Obviously, incidence of such a tax system will be greatest on certain taxpayers. A dynamic or diversified tax structure will result in the allocation of burden of taxes among the vast population, resulting in a low degree of tax burden in totality. Guys, this is also very important principle of taxation. Tax structure should be diversified or dynamic. There should be no rigidness and there should be no single tax system. There should be multiple tax systems so that maximum population can be covered under the tax system and the burden of tax system can be distributed among the large number of people. That's why there should be diversification in the tax structure. And such tax structure create less sacrifice or less tax burden in totality for the society. So now the conclusion. The above canons of taxation are considered to be essential requirement of a good tax policy. Unfortunately, such an ideal tax system is rarely observed in the real world. But a tax authority must go on maintaining relentlessly the above canons of taxation so that a near ideal tax structure can be built up. Okay, these principles are very much idealistic. It is not possible for all the economy to follow all the principle, but still government can try to follow some principle of taxation, can achieve near ideal tax structure for their economy. Guys, hope you have understood the importance of tax structure and canon of taxation. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.